Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed resource speaker for this afternoon's career orientation, mentoring and program advising series, or COMPAS. Being an architect and landscape architect, our esteemed resource speaker reinforces his strategy to always design in good harmony with the surroundings and environment. With that trademark in the field, he has completed a variety of architecture and landscape projects. Another facet of his profession is his mission to help improve the quality of human life by serving the community through the UAP's wide range corporate social responsibility projects to uplift human condition and advance professional service to the society. This advocacy elevated him as a fellow of the United Architects of the Philippines. He is a registered ASEAN architect and has been conferred fellow of Royal Institute of Architects, Singapore. Among CSR project involvements are the following: rehabilitation of Bito Elementary School in Marawi, the constructed and implemented project in Graces or the final ward renovation in Quezon City, multimedia center in Kasiguran, Aurora, and the Kapamilya Shower Na mobile shower bank nationwide, among others. Most of these projects were conceptualized and developed to serve as emergency and relief response after a sudden, overwhelming, and unforeseen event. These projects became a reality then because of the support of the UAP National UAP Bayanihang Arkitektura, UAP Cavite Chapter, ABS-CBN and Lingkod Kapamilya, and Filon ngayon. In spirit of dedication and volunteerism, he was served as UAP chapter president to his home chapter, the UAP Cavite chapter, from fiscal year 2008 to 2010. He also served as the UAP Secretary General for two consecutive fiscal years, 2016 to 2018, Executive Director of the Commission on Professional Practice, fiscal year 2018 to 2019, and as UAP National Executive Vice President, fiscal year 2019-2020. For his notable contributions and exemplary service, he was honored with the Piatti Architecture Professional Awards 2018 and awarded by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts of the same year the Haligi ng Dangal People's Choice Awardee for his exemplary design of the Valenzuela People's Park. On top of all his dedication and commitment to his professional career and to his professional organization, he still finds time for his passion as an architecture educator, as a professional guest lecturer at the De La Salle University Dasmariñas, Malayan Colleges Laguna, and University of Santo Tomas. Similarly, he champions the UAP CSR projects and believes that God blessed him in infinite ways, so he returns, blessed and help others. Ladies and gentlemen, the National President of the United Architects of the Philippines and our resource speaker, Architect Renato Heray.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that humbling introduction. Maraming salamat po sa Far Eastern University for the warm invitation for this career orientation mentoring and program advising series, or C.O.M.P.A.S. Let me thank all the FEU community, especially Architect Raquel Bakiran, the Dean of the Institute of Architecture and Fine Arts, professors, students, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored to be part of this program with all of you, a young generation of bright, dynamic minds who are all full of potentials and promising capabilities for a better future. Being with you all today, virtually, reminds me of a person I was, back in the days as a young college student. It was really great to see you all. I realized that while we grow, we will find that the things we had shared and learned formed us as a person. These memories become sources of joy and even tears. Your arrival here at FEU marks a new chapter in the story of your life. But this chapter is a bit different. The preceding chapters were largely written by others, your parents, guardians, families, teachers, and the like. Now, you will be the principal author of the next chapter. You have the opportunity to determine the direction the plot, and the tempo of your story. And while you are here at FEU, you will have the opportunity to learn new things, acquire new knowledge, develop new skills, and enhance your personal attributes in profound ways that will equip you, equip for life after FEU. At the same time, you will make new friends who will become your friends for life, with whom you will share memories of FEU days for many years to come. So umpisa na po natin, ano po ba ang ginagawa ng mga arkitekto? Ano po ba ang mangyayari sa inyo pag natapos ninyo ang kursong Bachelor of Science in Architecture? Remember this one. Every book has an author. Every painting has an artist. Every orchestra has a conductor. Every dance has a choreographer. Every opera has a composer. Every film has a director. Every sculpture has a sculptor. And every building has an architect. This is our building, the United Architects of the Philippines building. Just a trivia, just to let you know, it was a competition, yung ginawa itong building. And the one who designed this is the late architect Chofelo I. Vasquez, a fellow of UAP and an FEU alumnus. Graduate po siya sa FEU. With this, there's something to be proud of course. Think of the home you live in, the school you attend, and the stores you shop in. Architecture influences every aspect of our lives. The houses we live in, the buildings we work in, the places we spend our leisure time and worship, and even the streets we move about in. Everything that is built around us has an impact. This is true even of buildings we never enter, but just pass by every day. An architect is a licensed professional, like a medical doctor or public school teacher. The word architecture is as general as the word music. We call it music, but there are subcategories within music. The types of music we could have rap, country music, jazz, classical music, rock and roll. Just like music, there are types of architecture. Those could be residential, commercial, interior design, green design, landscape, hospital design, heritage conservation, and the list can go on forever. So what does an architect do? Architects are responsible for designing these places, whether they are private or public, indoors or out, rooms, buildings, or complexes. Architects are licensed professionals trained in the art and science of building design, who develop the concept of structures and turn those concepts and images into reality. Architects create the look of buildings and other structures and ensure the buildings must be functional, safe, economical, and must suit the needs of the people who use them. Architects carry a tremendous amount of responsibility protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the public. Architects sometimes specialize in one phase of work. Some specialize in the design of one type of building, for example, hospitals, schools, or housing, or even landscape. As members of the community, architects have to communicate and have contact with many people as they meet, talk, trade, provide or obtain services, or become involved in activities with others. As design professionals, architects also have to work with and for other people. Now, you may ask me, what skills will help? What skills will help me succeed in pursuing architecture degree? You must have the following skills, I should say. First, math and science skills. To understand how and why certain designs and ideas may or may not work before they're built. Design skills, extremely important. Anything built must look elegant as well. Team building skills. It's important to know not only be part of a team, but how to lead a team. Communication skills. You'll have to be able to efficiently and effectively communicate your ideas. People of varying knowledge and experience levels can understand what you are talking about. So, what are the steps to become a licensed architect? It's a three-part process which consists of the following. First, education. You must enroll an undergraduate degree called Bachelor of Science in Architecture with a total more or less of around 230 units for at least 5 years. The first 2 years of Bachelor of Science in Architecture program focus on the history of discipline and basic building skills, such as fundamental design concepts and understanding of material properties. The final 3 years covers topics like architectural theory, building technology, and computer-aided drafting and design. Second is experience. After graduation and prior to taking up the licensure examination for architects, you are required to undergo a diversified experience under the supervision of a licensed architect. Normally, it's those 2 years for about 3,840 hours of practical and internship. And third, examination. An architecture graduate needs to take and pass the architecture licensure examination before he can practice as a licensed architect. The examination is conducted by the Board of Architecture under the supervision of PRC, the Professional Regulation Commission. It is scheduled twice a year in the month of January and June. In your architecture studies, you learn about the history of civilization, from the ancient to the most recent, and you'll see how the architecture of those societies reflected and also influenced the daily life of those civilizations. The study of architecture includes a wide range of concerns. Architects need to know about the history of buildings and monuments. You'll study the works of the world's great architects and learn what their styles contribute in their times. You will also learn that architects create legacies that can withstand even the generation after them. Take it from our legend like national artist, architect Leandro Vinoxin, the cultural center of the Philippines. Architect Juan Felipe Nakpil, who designed the Manila Jockey Club, the Magsaysay Building. Architect Francisco Bobby Manyosa, who created the Banawe Rice Terraces inspired San Miguel Corporation headquarters building. Now, do you know the architect of Far Eastern University? The FEU founding father, Nicanor Reyes Sr., commissioned architect Pablo S. Antonio Sr., who becomes the national artist for architecture in 1949, to design and construct the FEU main building. FEU's campus is noted for a number of historical Art Deco buildings preserved from the first half of the 20th century. Among the buildings on FEU's campus complex, 5 by architect Pablo S. Antonio Sr., garnered recognition from UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, who bestowed the Asia Pacific Heritage Award for Cultural Heritage on the university for the outstanding preservation of its Art Deco structures. Something to be proud of. The auditorium was designed by Pablo Antonio Sr. It is the first cultural center of the Philippines and also the very first fully air-conditioned auditorium in the Philippines, which can accommodate 1,000 spectators. The auditorium was home to renowned orchestras. It featured dances from Manila Ballet Academy, the New York City Center Ballet, and Martha Graham, an American dancer and one the 20th century revolutionary artist. Excited na ba kayo maging arkitekto? Well, as you embark on your life's journey in college, hayaan nyo pabaunin ko kayong lahat ng mga paalala sa inyong paglalakbay. At higit sa lahat ay maimbitahan ko kayo sa aming propesyon para maging isang ganap na arkitekto sa hinaharap. My guidelines in life. Each transition in my life became a personal growth experience. It served as my light as I traversed the path of my profession as a registered and licensed architect. Allow me to share some guidelines I learned. First, set your own sight. Focus. Even when I was a kid, I already knew what I want to become. As far as I can remember, the love for building and designing has always been with me since I was a child. I remember I was so fond of playing building blocks and making doodles in my pastimes. I wanted to be an architect. But coming from a poor family, my life in college is quite difficult as a working student, which helped me shape what I will eventually become as licensed architect. You know, before going to college, it was really an unforgettable one. I was trying to make ends meet during that time by juggling one job after the other so I can continue my further study in the university. I work as a janitor. I work as a dishwasher, a car washer, naglilinis po ng taxi at that time, etc. Lahat po ata ng klaseng washer, napasukan ko na. But again, I have a focus. As a janitor, I was then third year and fourth year high school. I was chosen by the Rotary Club of Makati. They have a program to help students help themselves. So I worked as a janitor in an agency, the SMS Superior Maintenance Services. Na-assign po ako sa 10th floor ng SGV building. Hindi ko malilimutan yan, sa Ayala Avenue. Alam nyo, during that time, my memories remain quite vivid when I enrolled to take my course, Bachelor of Science in Architecture. You know, after giving me the loads that I have to take, I went straight to the registrar's office. The problem was that I do not have enough money to pay for my tuition fee. But I need to pay in order to keep my studies because working po ako. Pag naiwan ko po ito, nako, hindi na ako mawawala ng ibang subjects ko. So what I did is I talked to the head of the registrar's office on my financial constraints, telling them that my money for my tuition fee will be sent from the province. But I have only 20 pesos left in my wallet. To tell you, I have to go back home walking. And fortunately, they allowed me to pay 20 pesos as an advance payment so I can enroll my course to take up Bachelor of Science in Architecture. I have a focus. My dream that time was big and high. I was determined to achieve it. I studied well and exerted all energies and possibilities to become known in my craft. I journeyed rough and hold on to my dreams. Let me share with you a quote from William A. Ward. It says, "Study while others are sleeping. Work while others are loafing. Prepare while others are playing. And dream while others are wishing." I tell you now that no matter what your dreams may be, as long as it's yours, you have the total control and exclusive claim for its results. Second, challenge yourself. Like what I said this afternoon, difficulties are part of a cycle. To eventually experience growth and success, we must take the concerns and demands as opportunities to better ourselves. Remember, it is when you are tested that we discover our full potentials. Choose challenge over comfort because striving means going out of your comfort zone. Alam po ninyo, when not working or studying, you will find me kneeling inside the Santa Cruz Church. The Quiapo Church, Baclaran Church. Naranasan ko po lumakad ang paluhod mula pinto hanggang altar, praying fervently and hoping that God may grant me more strength as I face the challenges of being a working student. With the grace of the Lord, I graduated B.S. Architecture in the year 1985. First batch po kami ng 5-year curriculum. And with God's grace and mercy, I passed the Architect's Licensure examination in the same year, 1985. I have a focus again. I challenge myself that I really need to pass the exam to be an architect so I can support the dedication of my sick mother. I had done much better than I had expected, but I wanted to experience more. So I decided to hurdle all obstacles, work hard, and challenge myself more. Focus on the direction of success. I patiently traveled and courageously faced all the distractions presented before me. To share with you my earlier work as a draftsman, while I am still a working student, second sem of my first year, I can vividly remember my first assignment in my first job as a draftsman. I had to erase and remove all guidelines drawings by pencil. I handled my assignment above, carefully and meticulously cleaning the paper, making sure that all will return to its original clear and white image to achieve a good quality of print. My next job is to use Leroy, a lettering set for making title blocks and writing text on the tracing paper. Kasi but at that time, student pa po ako noon. Still second year college. Hindi na ninyo ito inabutan yung Leroy kasi computer na po ang ating gamit ngayon. Pero noon, ang mga title blocks, nilelettering sa tinta at mayroong template na ginagamit upang ang mga letters ay maganda. Ang tawag sa template nito o lettering na yun ay Leroy. Sa mga tuwid bilang isang neophyte, bilang isang baguhan, ako ang nagiging tagasalo ng mga trabahong ayaw gawin ng mga nakatatanda sa akin. As a beginner, I did all the dirty job. So my advice, keep on learning and don't just be complacent with what you have learned. Lifelong learning is the key to a longer, healthier, more satisfying and productive life. Exercise your mind. Learn something new every day. Whenever, whatever. Learn for your own advancement, as the late Ernie Baron said, kapag may knowledge, may power. Third, seek opportunities. To sit in the presence of greatness. To sit in the presence of greatness does not mean talking to a great architect or a business tycoon. You can sit in the presence of a greatness by meeting with someone you admire and respect, but probably do not personally know. They too can be opportunities for your greatness. Higit lalo sa mga nakakausap natin at nakakasalamuha sa araw-araw, ay kailangan nating pangalagaan ang ating salita at ang pagiging tapat or honest. Dapat nating isakatuparan o gawin ang anumang sinabi o pinangako natin sa ating mga kliyente. Sila ang magiging tulay natin sa mga susunod na proyekto. Sila magpapakilala sa atin sa mga susunod na client. Hanapin natin ang oportunidad at isang puso na anuman na o sino man na nakakasama natin o nakikilala natin sa araw-araw ay magiging kabahagi ng ating pangarap. Again, value the people you meet for they will lead you to success. Blessings poured in after my graduation in 1985. I welcome opportunities for me to work abroad in 1986 I was in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where I was exposed to the practice of architecture and landscape architecture, knowing great architects whom I can only find in books. To tell you, it was exciting. During my work abroad in the Middle East and China, I gained self-confidence in dealing with architects of different nationalities and cultures, showing and sharing my work with international audience. Also means introducing my roots and develop a deep sense of pride as a Filipino. After 11 years of being in a foreign land, I eventually put up my architectural office here in the Philippines, where I can be with my family and serve the country with my designs and visions. Back home, this is where I took up my master's in tropical landscape architecture to academically align myself after having the experience overseas. There are fulfillment and satisfaction on bringing what I have learned from abroad and to share to our home country and eventually passing the knowledge on to others as a way of giving back. I received an invitation from a schoolmate who invited me to join their office, KEL International, for a design competition in Guangzhou, China. To lead the team, we won twice in different design competition, and then they hired me as a consultant to work in their office for almost 2 years. I have to go to Guangzhou, China, 3 days to 1 week a month, because I've already an office in Cavite. So remember, as you go through life, if you aim high enough, we'll also experience resistance that will draw back in life. Resistance requires resilience I remember the quote, "An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backward." And when life is dragging you with difficulties, it only means that it is going to launch you into something great. So never lose sight, focus, and continue aiming. The fourth, never let your weaknesses hold you back. In these uncertain times, I know some may have second thoughts on what path to take. But let me tell you one thing, now more than ever, you have to seek what makes you happy. As an adult who is ready to take on what the challenges the real world has to offer, you do have to strike a balance between enjoying your productive age and being responsible, making sound decisions. Listen to what others people has to say and always welcome constructive criticism. Choosing a career is just the beginning. It is what you go through the process which make you improve as a person. But while doing this, you have to anchor your hopes, fears, and dreams into something bigger. Our Heavenly Father, my faith in Him kept me going in my darkest times. I hope you also find refuge and strength in knowing that there is a greater being who can hear all your anxieties, frustrations, and celebrates with you for your victories. Fifth, have a dream and make it big. In my practice, I always talk about the need of myself to find a new way to dream. But while I am now in what I believe is a dream come true, looking back, I realized that I never dreamed big enough. But I believe people who fail to dream do so because they cannot believe their dreams will ever result in reality. One of my favorite writer, Anatole France, said, "To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe." So dream, believe, and achieve. And here I am now in front of you, speaking to you as the 27th National President of the multi-awarded United Architects of the Philippines, with more than 48,000 registered architects. Hold on to your dream and never stop dreaming. Dream high to the next level. Believe me when I tell you, you can go farther than you think. Never let anyone dictate you what and how to dream. The talent and wisdom that manifests through you brought your presence here this afternoon. But after this, you are again being challenged to set your sight onto the next dream and continue to strive for what may seem become your reach. So whatever you decide to do with your practice after graduation or after passing the board, I wish you will turn out to be the best and become one of the most successful young independent architect of the country. I'm a firm believer in persistence and determination. These characteristics, along with faith, family, and friends, will serve you well. And so I challenge you all. I challenge you to first set your own sight. Choose challenge over comfort. Seek opportunities to sit in the presence of greatness. Never let weakness hold you back. And above all, dream big. Remember, your success will be measured not by what you do for yourself, but by what you do for others. I hope you will find them in your own way and your own time. So it's great time to be an architect. In closing, the future is yours to think, to craft, and create. And maybe you will remember a few points I just shared with you. And with those few words of advice, I wish you every success inside and outside of the Far Eastern University. And I'm confident that you will find it an immensely rewarding experience. Keep healthy and take care of yourselves in these testing times. Stay open, stay focused, stay rested, stay colorful, stay honest, and most importantly, enjoy your stay here at FEU. Mabuhay at maraming salamat po. Ay, salamat.
Thank you so much for that lecture. And how would everyone? So for our first question, architect, what was the best decision you've ever made in your career that contributed to who you are today?
Salamat po. Ay.
Okay. So sir, architect, thank you so
Yes.
much for your inspiring lecture. So for our first question, what was the best decision you've ever made in your career that contributed to who you are today?
What decision? Sorry, come again. What decision? Sorry.
What was the best decision you've ever made in your career that contributed to who you are today?
Well, first, it's my decision to take the course, itong Bachelor of Science in Architecture. I think it's the best decision I did. I'm happy. I'm with the family, my family, and kahit papano, I can leave something, even though I'm not around. My name will still be there for my family, and that's I think the best decision taking this course. I'm happy with my course. I'm happy with this with what I've taken. My career. Yes.
Indeed, sir, you did set your own sight from the start, and now you've made a great impact in the architecture industry here in the Philippines.
Yes, that's true. I'm happy, giving, let's say, really from the heart that you design something, and you will share and make the family build, come together, mabuo yung pamilya because of your creation, kahit papano, a place of worship, the office, the houses, even residence, and especially, of course, my specialty, the gardens, yeah, yes.
Yes, they're very impactful. So for our next question, what is the best advice you could give to an FEU student who aspires to be someone like you in the future?
Okay, thank you for that. Actually, each of one is unique, each of one is unique. But for me, I perhaps a focus, have a focus. So because that time, siguro kanya-kanyang kanya-kanyang what's this experience o karanasan sa buhay. Mine is different kasi talagang medyo mahirap during that time. I have to work, I have to work double time. Then with my focus, I really really to graduate, to finish my course, and to be an architect. I have no time, to wait. May batas yung sarili ko eh. I have to finish this one at this time. I were able to finish it 5 years. I have to pass the exam. I have to, and I have to help myself. That one, I think so.
Yes, sir. So choosing challenge over comfort.
Oh
Hopefully,
yes.
today. So for our third question, po,
Yes. Okay.
was there ever a time that you thought you were not good enough to achieve your dream? How did you manage to overcome this phase in your life?
Oh yes, meron naman. May mga feeling na gano'n. Kasama po talaga sa buhay yun. Pag gano'n na, of course, going back to my creator, I have to pray. And I think that's so, pag wala na talaga, medyo nanghihina ng kalooban mo, di ko na kaya, then I just light a candle, which even now in this office, I'm lighting a candle to tell you for a day-to-day activity, asking to lead my direction, to be of, like for now as a national president, to be of service to our members. These things, of course, I think pray, and we will never, talagang hindi ko malalayo. Yes.
I see, sir. So, like your talk earlier, you never let your weaknesses hold you back, but instead, it should help you strengthen and help you become who you are today. Po.
Yes, oo, totoo yun.
So, sir, what is the hardest part of being a successful person? Po?
The hardest part of, sorry, the hardest part of,
What is the hardest part of being a successful professional?
the hardest part of being a successful person, the hardest part, oh my. Uh, um, I just make it a point, I think it's more of a mind setting, There are times na dumarating talaga yung mga may hirap na part na sa buhay. And of course, just to accept it, as they are. Um, well, I say perhaps keep on learning. Don't be complacent with what you have learned, Tuloy-tuloy lang, and wag ka in case if iba talaga yun, let's say I think from the from what you have learned or from what you um have let's say part of it, kung ano yung natutunan mo, I think it's not that naman, lahat naman ang pag-aaralan, I think lahat naman, there's no such thing as may hirapan. I think you have to fix it and accept things as they are. I think as simple as that, yeah. Siguro ganun. I think we are telling to the students, kaya wag sila manghihina because as I told you, everything can be napag-aaralan naman, and dati I thought architecture may na sa drawing, di ba yung ganung bagay, Hindi naman, natututunan lahat ng bagay. And it should be excitement, when you learn something new, especially in architecture. Wow, talagang asaya-saya ko. Really, this is life, this is me.
Very true, sir. You can achieve everything that you have right now with hard work. So, sir, you've mentioned that team building skills are very important to learn as an architect.
Yes.
The greatest challenge that you encountered in relation with collaborating with other people, and
Yes.
what did you do to face that challenge?
Yes, it's like this. Team building is really important kasi it's always even in the projects. Architect is always the lead of the team because he was the one who designed it. Siya nakakaalam talaga. Of course, it's from the design. Then, from as a leader, as the head of the team, you have all the engineers, you have all the other disciplines around you to support that design, which comes from, of course, from the architect. So it's the one leading it. Kaya it's important, of course, to manage the team, to work with kaya yung team building is very important for me, especially that. Kaya even I think in schools, nagkakaroon ng mga groups, di po ba, it's a training. It's a training for you to be working with a team. This one. Because you will definitely lead. Mahihain po ako before to tell you. Now, I never expect having this position that I have to, but it's part of it. Kasama na yan.
Very true, sir. So managing and communicating with your teammates will really make a great architectural landscape or any building.
That's true. Exactly. Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
sir. So, sir, do you have any messages for our future architects here in FU?
Oh, yes. I think nasabi ko na lahat, but still, I think I will go back again. Of course, have some focus kung lalo sa mga students, kailangan matapos to, kailangan makapagtapos ko ng pag-aaral, ganyan. It's so exciting, especially in the field. Ang ganda ng course natin, to tell you. I can say that perhaps kasi hanggang ngayon, masaya ako sa mga ginagawa ko. Designing or doing something for a client, or even kahit kanino na of course mga iba with the social responsibility, pag sa pagtulong, the architect still there, still the forefront of this activity. And pray, of course, huwag niyo kalimutan magdasal and to seek guidance in itong papasukin ninyo. Yan, maraming salamat po.
Working hard and praying hard. help you where
Magkasama.
you are. Yes po. So everyone, thank you so much for your participation. Architect Renato, thank you so much for your time. And your stories are what we all need. A reminder that there are no shortcuts in life, and just hard work, have hard work, and it will always pay off no matter what. Thank you, everyone, and stay healthy.
Yes, maraming salamat po.